All right. What's good, everybody? Welcome back. Sound like a guru saying that shit. All right. So this is going to be the Go High Level overview. Okay. This is a relatively new account for us, so there's not a whole lot in here. This is just kind of give you same kind of overview of like how the interface works and what it looks like and kind of how to maneuver through it. Right. So first off, Go High Level is like a monster. It's kind of like N8N. It can be very confusing and stressful for people, and that's a lot of the feedback that we get when we're helping, just because there's so much in it. Right. This is a CRM, and this is such a vital part to any business, right? A customer relationship management system. So not every person that you run into or potential client is going to want to use this for a few different reasons. They may already have a CRM. They might be a little bit more old school. They might be a little bit scared to learn something new. It might confuse them, and they have a steady kind of way that they work through the way their business runs, and that's okay. We're not here to quite sell this to anybody yet. We do suggest this to people when they don't have a CRM, because when we start really building out voice agents and lead gen and yada, 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 this is just a great place that is super cost effective. $97 versus like HubSpot could be $500 plus. Like there's other CRMs out there, but they're super, super expensive. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because our goal for ourselves and our clients is to stay as lean as possible. Go High Level has different, obviously, tiers as well for subscriptions. The $97 just is the entry level that still gives you all of the features that you're going to need. Once you go up to like $297, that's built more for like agencies, and anything above that is built for like full on agencies that are managing multiple clients. With the $97 one, it's cool because you can create what are called sub accounts. So just for an example, this is actually my partner's agency called Graduated Money. This is what we're building everything under. But let's say for my agency, Elons of AI, let's say I I I brought myself on as an agency, and instead of having them go pay the 97 for their own Go High Level account, you can create what's called a sub account, which is listed right here. But let's just do this real quick just so you guys can see it. Sub accounts. You can create a sub account. So anytime Elons of AI logs in, instead of them seeing all this graduated money stuff, I actually just see my agent or my business, Elons of AI. So I get my own specific logins that I can log into, and everything under that is just for Elons of AI. It has none of the stuff that graduated money is or whatever it is. That way you can go and find other businesses and create them as sub accounts under your Go High Level account, and it applies for them as well. And then you can just say it's $97 for that. You can charge them for that. That pays for your Go High Level account, right? One thing you got to be careful of is like if you start upselling the charges. So if you're paying the 97 account, you go create the sub account for XYZ business, and you say, yeah, for the CRM, it's $497. So you can make that extra $400. I just advise staying away from that, or just understanding that like the further you go down that relationship, if they find out that Go High Level is only $97 and you're charging them $497 every single month for an upsell, eventually you're going to lose that client, because they're like, okay, we can just trim that extra $400 and just pay our own 97, and then blah blah blah, right? So we give everything at cost. We do charge the $97 though. We say, yeah, it's $97, but that's much better than a $500 HubSpot. But you guys can kind of make your own decisions. Again, you'll have businesses that are companies that are already using a CRM, and everything that we do, we can still use their CRM. We can still use Retell. We can still use N8N to send all of the information to their CRM. But if they don't have the CRM, we'll always suggest, we use Go High Level just because it's very cost effective, and for everything that you need and want, yeah, you're not going to find a cheaper price out there. So that's just one way you can position it. And again, I'm just running through these things off the top of my head. None of this is scripted. So if you have any questions, you can always hit me up. But yeah, so that's kind of the cool thing about GoHighLevel is that you can have multiple clients under your account, right? So um, again, this is a pretty beefy software, and there's a lot in here that you're not going to use really, especially in the beginning. You're not going to use a whole lot of this. So I'm not going to flood you with it because, again, it will make things a little bit stressful for you. I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview of it and the things that we're using, right? And for you, whether you're in the beginning stages, and a lot of my content in this is the beginner friendly. So if you're advanced and are already using GoHighLevel, cool. You already know much about it. Um, you can probably just skip onto the more advanced stuff. But okay, so you've got all this stuff. Like I said, all these softwares and platforms kind of operate the same. You have a lot of your control and lists of everything that you kind of do off to the left. But let me show you this real quick. So let's jump into a sub account, which is going to be this one right here. And as you can see, if you didn't already notice off to the left, you already have like a different like selection of options to choose from under the sub account view, right? Because remember, this could be a client of yours, and when they log in, you want it to only be for their business and not your agency view, right? So if you look in here, switch back to agency view, you just have a lot more options, selections, and control under your agency view because it's your agency, right? Under the sub account, it's just like a dashboard for your clients to log into and just visually see how things are going, right? So the one thing that I like about GoHighLevel, and I'm relatively new to it, so I'm not some like expert, and that just is kind of proof that you don't need to be an expert in everything and figure out every little technical advantage or thing that you need. Because in all honesty, like you're only really going to be using a portion of what it has to offer. But they do an onboarding call and they have customer support 24/7. That's a huge thing for me because if I have a problem and I can't find an answer on Google and I can't do that, well, the best place to go is to the support, right? So 24/7 support, you do an onboarding call. If you ever have any questions or need help figuring out how to build this workflow or do this, you can jump on as long as you're a paying member, and you can get on a video call and they will show you exactly how to do it or solve the problem or build this or this and that, right? So for us, we're keeping it very simple. And what you need in the beginning to build your agency kind of like GoHighLevel setup, right? You're going to need a website. So instead of you going paying Framer, you go and pay whatever Webflow, whatever website, you can just build a website under your GoHighLevel account. And then that way, like if you have a pop-up or a form or you're running an ad and someone fills out a lead form, everything will go into your GoHighLevel account under contacts. And it's all stored here. That's what a CRM is, to store your contacts. So you can go and build workflows, retarget, like just so many different things. You can connect your Google Calendar right in here. So we'll get into the stuff that you're going to need to build. This is kind of just a quick overview of what you're looking at, right? So your AI agents right here. Yeah, see, weekly AI coaching calls. These guys actually do a crazy job. Crazy job. Of just making sure you're really comfortable with their platform, right? So in the beginning, I hated it, and they definitely were not where they're at right now, but they've done a great job of really just like beefing up this platform so that you don't need all these other different softwares to accomplish, and then you don't have to juggle back and forth. Which that brings up a good point right here is like, why do we use Retell AI if they have their voice agents right here? Why are we using N8N workflows when you can go and build those types of things under automations? The reason for that is their voice agent is like it's relatively new, and it's still kind of like in beta. Like they just introduced ElevenLabs, more voices. So again, we keep an eye on things, and if it makes sense for us to switch, we will. Because if we don't have to use Retell or N8N, we're not going to, so that we can stay as lean as possible. You can just do a lot more with Retell right now, and N8N is like, yeah, it's a beast. So it's up to you guys. As you learn it, maybe you can be like, well, I don't need this anymore. I'll do that. Cool. Again, I'm just giving you guys exactly what I and my team are doing. That way you can scale to 8 to 10K, which is 100K a year. And then you can kind of go off and figure out your own things. You'll get smart as you get educated. And then you can just be like, well, I don't need Retell, or Retell's not a conversation as much as we use something different. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, again, you can do a lot with this. You can connect all your marketing, your Facebook, Instagram, so you can manage everything under one app, not a bunch of other things you need to log in daily to do these types of things. But again, even this video already is like too all over the place with sounding a little bit complicated. Anyways, we'll get into all this stuff. We'll give you guys templates of the things that we're doing, but just giving you a brief overview of what this looks like. This is where you build automations. Just give you guys like a visual of what workflows look like. So again, like this looks very complex, but once you start learning how to just use AI to help you build it, once you have it built, you can put it in a template. Then you don't have to rebuild every single time you land a new client or whatever. But at least you'll get a feel for it as we start building these from scratch. Or if you don't want to build them, just want to import it, cool. Like you'll get those things. But after a call happens in Retell, you get the end of call workflow. Basically, it just runs through all of these different things that, you know, for this was like booking. So did they qualify on the call? Yes or no? If yes, goes down, tags them, creates this, does this. No, tags as unqualified. Boom, boom, boom. Sends them an SMS. You're not qualified. Yeah, we'll get into all this stuff. This is a bit more complex, but yeah, you can do voice and SMS inside of GHL. And sometimes, yeah, we'll get into that a little bit, but this is where you build the workflows. All right, then sites. This is where you're going to spend a lot of time in the beginning, right? You can build a funnel. You can build your website. I'll show you guys how to do that. Even if you don't have case studies, if you don't have anything to really kind of start with, I'll still show you guys how to build something that looks way better than 80% of people starting off. And you can kind of see all the different options that you have up here. This gets a little bit more complex because, like I said, there's so many things that you're not even going to use. But websites, funnels, forms, surveys, quizzes are cool. Your chat widget, that's going to be something that we've covered, and maybe you guys have seen in other people's videos where we build a client a chat widget for their website that's not just like a dumb bot that makes you fill out your first name, email, and phone number, and then someone gets back to you. This is like an actual sophisticated agent, just like a voice agent is, that can have conversations via text message or on the website. So that's another thing that you'll use in there. But yeah, right now we're not going to complicate it. This is just an area that you'll spend a lot of time just to get your website built out. And then eventually, once you kind of niche into something where you find success, or you're interested in the plumbing or the roofing industry, whatever it is, you can build multiple websites for demos, right? So I'm building one right now for automotive dealerships, which I think I'm going to put inside of this course as well. I'll use this as kind of like the dummy demo that I'm building out, so that you can have specific landing pages for the automotive industry or e-commerce or plumbers. And then you can really start scaling and targeting those types of people. That way they're not landing on a website where it's like, yeah, we help law firms, we help med spas, we help surgical centers, we help like all these different things, which is okay. But when you really start to scale and you want to speak to one individual, you'll kind of want to structure it that way. This is just my way of kind of thinking and doing things. There's other people smarter and more successful than me that might have something else to say. Like I said, that's not the objective of this program. It's just to get a few clients under your belt so that now you have options and a budget and cash flow for you to kind of like go out and do other things and build bigger and better things as well. All right, so memberships. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to create a membership, that's where you're going to do it right here. Media storage. This is just going to be all the stuff that you upload, your images, your this and that. Reputation. Okay, so this is a whole beast of itself, but you'll see a lot of people talking about coming into someone's business and helping them out with their reviews, right? Like that your competitor has 600 reviews, you guys only have 297. We have an agent and a workflow that we can help build your reviews after a job's done. And I've learned from a few different people, you know, like your Google reviews is huge when people land and they're searching for something. Or if you have 31 reviews and someone else has 297, more than likely they're going to hit up that 297 company. But what happens if that company that has 297 reviews doesn't answer the phone and you need something rather quickly? Well, they're just going to keep going down the list, and they might contact you because your business profile on Google says you're open 24/7 and they're open from 9 to 5, right? So again, we'll get into more of this stuff as we go, but this is cool because you can go in and it gives you kind of like how to set this up and onboard. You'll do this for each client that has a Google. You'll connect their Google business profile. You'll set up the review link, yada, yada, yada. But this is a massive, massive thing that you can leverage. And why I like GoHighLevel is because reviews literally are a huge part of people deciding to go to this restaurant or this restaurant, which you guys are, that's common sense stuff. So I'm not going to go too far into this, but you got the reviews, like start collecting them. You can get the requests where you can start sending the request reviews via text message. So once a job completes, you send a text to this person. It says, hey, would you mind leaving us a review on Google? You can kind of build a strategic funnel where if they leave anything below a 4-star review, it actually sends them to like a feedback form, and they give you feedback on how they could improve the business, the service, this and that. That way, those lower reviews below 4 don't actually get the Google link review, or sorry, the link to review on Google. Only if it's a 5-star review, then they'll get the link to the business profile to then leave that review. Anything less than that, yeah, they send them somewhere else. So it keeps things super clean. But again, this is a little bit more advanced, and I'm kind of rambling. You guys get the gist of it, and we'll jump into this and some other modules as well. Reporting, super straightforward. Like if you have clients that need a end of month report, you can come in here and build out templates and yada yada, and then you can like literally with everything, Google Ads, Facebook. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like that way people can visually see, you know, how things are performing for each campaign, yada yada. It's just like Facebook ads, but yeah, you connect everything and it brings the reporting in for you. And then once you get a little bit more advanced, you can ask ChatGPT or whatever how to build custom reports. We'll also cover that, but for the most part, you're not going to be going too crazy unless the industry that you're going into has specific like KPIs, key performance indicators, which we'll get into that stuff. That just tells businesses where they need to improve, what they're doing really well at, double down on. But this gives you guys kind of an idea on that. And most businesses operate the same. Like KPIs are pretty much similar to what they need to be looking at in order to know how to grow and scale. Conversion rates for every 100 people that you call, you're closing 6 of them or whatever it is. And then you got your app marketplace, which, you know, you will integrate certain things in here. Like you've heard of Synthflow AI. It's another like voice agent platform. It's a little bit more expensive, but anyways, it's pretty much got everything that you need. Closebot is the platform that we use for SMS, which we'll get into that as well. We don't really use GHLs, but again, like I said, not to complicate things. If we feel like it's important, worked for us, you're going to see it in this course as well. So we're just getting started. Cool. So that's pretty much a pretty solid overview on GoHighLevel. Like I said, they do such a good job that I could join a video call with a success team member right now, even though I've already done my onboarding call, and we can go through whatever we need so that they can help us out. Use that to your advantage. That's another great reason why $97 isn't, that's not that expensive. I know in the beginning it might sound like it, but it's really not. And we've used a lot of softwares and CRM. So, okay, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Conversations. So if you do SMS in here, or you connect your Facebook ads or whatever it is, you can come in here and see the conversations. If someone is doing like a DM campaign where it's like, DM me the word Elons of AI and I'll send you this, or whatever it is, you've seen those. At least you can manage. Same thing with your clients. You can just manage and see everything right inside of here without having to jump into your, your I was going to say Facebook ads manager, business manager, but it's Meta. Same thing, right? You can see it all right here. Contacts, we already went through that. Opportunities, it's a little bit more advanced, but this is just part of your funnel and your pipeline. We'll get into that a little bit later, but this is super important, right? New lead, contact, attempted, follow-up, yada, yada. So this makes it easy for you and your clients. They have the app on their phone. They can just log in and see a new lead came in last night at 2 a.m. in the morning. Here's what the AI voice agent gathered from that to qualify the lead. Contact attempted would be like you have a SMS go out right after the call, or you have whatever it is. You have you booked it, and then you have a different agent that needs to contact them to discuss things further, or if you're doing it, great. Anyways, you can kind of see that stuff right here, and it gives you kind of like the dollar amount of the opportunities and yada yada. Pipelines, same kind of thing. Outbound, yeah, you'll see this in a little bit later down the road in a few more modules. So cool. Like I said, much love to you guys. If you have any questions, you guys should know where to find me. If not, you can hit me up on IG, school, wherever you're finding me or watching this video. I'm pretty accessible. But yeah, let's get it. We'll see you guys on the next one.